Call this special land finance committee meeting to order. Today's date is October 24th. The time is 1:01. With us today, we have Alderman Tolliver, Alderwoman Bade, Alderman Warman, Alderman Bug, and myself, Alderman Franco. First item on the agenda, we have a number of items to approve for minutes. First one being 24-0772, approve of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on October 10th, 2024. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Alderman Bug, second by Alderman Tolliver. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next one is 24-0814, approval of the minutes from the Special Finance Committee meeting held on October 17, 2024. We have a motion by Alderman Bug, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Next one is 24-0816, approval of the minutes from the Special Finance Committee meeting held on October 18th, 2024. Motion by Alderman Bug. Second by Alderman Tolliver, or Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. And 24-0819, approve of the minutes from the Special Finance Committee meeting held on October 21st, 2024. Motion by Alderman Bug. Second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes 5-0 also. Madam Clerk, do we have anybody from the public wishing to speak?
No, we do not.
Okay. When we go into the agenda items, we're going to skip around based on previous commitments by some of the people presenting. So we are going to start with 24-0694, resolution amending the agreement between the city and the Aurora downtown for the provision of special services and the payment of the proceeds of special service area taxes collected in the area constituting Special Service Area 1.
Afternoon, Patrick Collins with the city's law department. This agenda item before you is to make one amendment to the agreement we have with them to shorten the notice provisions we need to give in order to terminate the contract. It was 366 days, basically a full year, and we're going to shorten that down to 90. We work with their attorneys on both sides, and this is the agreement we've come up with.
Okay. Any questions or comments based on that?
Motion to approve.
Hearing none, we have a motion approved by Alderman Warman, second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry. Sorry, Alderman, but go ahead.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
Even shortening it to 90 days, is that short enough?
Yes.
If
That's
things move quickly and, I mean, if we need to do something in 60, or you just going to come back?
By agreement, we could go less than that if the parties chose to agree with it, but it's a minimum of 90. And to shorten it down from a full year.
Yeah, I'd say we were going to 90, okay. Yeah, because given our state, it may be shorter, who knows? Okay,
Yep, we're flexible.
we'll go with 90
We're
for
flexible.
now.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I had a motion by Alderman Warman. Did I have a second? Second by Alderwoman Bade. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, now we will go back to the first item, which we'll talk about the budgeting process. So that's 24-0783, review the proposed 2025 city budget, community affairs, communications, and marketing.
Good evening, committee, chair, vice chair, and committee members. We can put the PowerPoint up, John. Clayton Mohammed, advisor to the mayor, chief engagement officer, chief equity officer, here with members of our team of MOCA, our director of community events, Mike Nelson, director of equity, diversity and inclusion, Michelle Clark, and our community engagement manager, Ileana Rivera Nunez, and all of their respective teams there. I'm here to present our budget for the year. You have a packet in front of you with 5 distinguished and beautiful people on the cover. Thank you. All at MOCA-led events. We try to provide a platform for everyone. I was told I had a half an hour, so my presentation will reflect that to everybody who's waiting. We have 3 divisions in MOCA. Thank you for hosting us there. And it becomes this fine balance of how do we balance out events, equity, and engagement for the benefit of the entire community. And you'll see what we've done this year, what we plan to do next year, as engagement is new division with us this year, and bringing that into the fold of a well-established events division and equity division as a whole. To lay the groundwork of what we do Yeah, we're going to take a trip from October through this October, last October, Halloween, through today, and just giving a high level of events and initiatives that are hosted or run through MOCA. Each month will take about a minute and a half, and just so you know, just still about 50% of the work that we do. So we're going to go ahead and press play on the video. You have your popcorn and your water, so you can enjoy the show.
Today, Aurora will welcome trick-or-treaters to City Hall.
Some of the crowds earlier, and
Again,
you'll get a little bit of a
they're
taste of what
traveling
we're
through
talking
October
about. We had
to October.
so many people coming through this event. They said
A show of unity and peace in West Suburban Aurora. Mayor Richard Irvin was joined by Jewish and Muslim faith leaders at tonight's City Council meeting to mark 1 month since the start of the Israel-Hamas war.
97 years young, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Mr. Dick Miller.
A World War II veteran greeting the crowds at today's Veterans Day parade in Aurora. People around the globe are praying and celebrating Diwali, including right here in suburban Aurora. Thousands gathered for the annual Festival of Lights at Wabansie Valley High School.
That is some fanfare. The Rosary High School girls swimming team took first place at state yesterday. They were escorted through town by a motorcade of flashing lights. Even the mayor was there to proclaim November 13th Rosary Beads
Welcome back.
Day.
This year, the city of Aurora is putting on an event to make the holiday season special for our military members stationed away from home.
The Gifts from Home program gives those brave men and women a holiday package, along with other items to make them feel the love from back home.
Joining us is the mayor in Aurora, Richard Irvin, whom we've known for a long time. We know, by the way, is a veteran of the Gulf War. Thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us.
The city of Aurora kicked off the holiday season last night as well. Over 7,000 people gathered downtown there for the annual Winter Lights Festival.
Well, today, Aurora's public housing residents will receive Thanksgiving meal boxes just in time for the holidays. Mayor Richard Irvin will join the Aurora Housing Authority handing those out.
There are events throughout the city and suburbs to mark World AIDS Day today. In West Suburban Aurora, last night, Mayor Richard Irvin honored a local HIV/AIDS advocacy organization that is celebrating 30 years of advocacy.
In Aurora, you'll find the full holiday experience starting at Phillips Park, and that's why we sent our Sandra Torres there to tell us all about it. Sandra, what's going on there this weekend?
Hey, lots going on this weekend here in Aurora. Perhaps you live in the suburbs and you don't feel like going all the way to the city to take in some of the holiday festivities. Well, plenty to do here in Aurora.
But we open at 5 and cars start to line up at 4 o'clock. You know, they want to get here, they want to get in to see the lights and to see the special attractions.
And Chris Kindle Market also, second year here in Aurora. Huge deal that it's in this area.
Huge deal. More than 150,000 people came to Chris Kindle Market last year, our first.
Well, family and friends gathered in Aurora for their annual Winter Fest. This was over the weekend. This is an event that includes performances from young kids to adults that reflect many different cultures and traditions that live in Aurora's 10th ward.
How about this? Smiles after a big surprise at an Aurora preschool today. There's the mayor of Aurora right there, Mayor Richard Irvin, and the police officers from Aurora dropping off stuffed animals to kids at East Aurora Early Childhood Development Center.
Aurora is honoring a new church in that city born from the merging of two others. Mayor Richard Irvin was on hand to unveil a new street sign called Purpose City Way.
And the Christmas robot performs in the grand finale at the Aurora Festival of Lights tonight. The 8-foot tall dancing character has greeted thousands of visitors during the 17th annual event. The robot bids farewell to guests as they exit the 1-mile holiday display in Phillips Park. More than 50,000 cars have taken in the Festival of Lights in Aurora through the season.
Hundreds of families in Aurora waited in line in the cold to get presents for Three Kings Day. It's also known as Epiphany. The day honors the 3 wise men who brought gifts to baby Jesus.
45, a pair of Orthodox Christian churches in Aurora came together over the weekend for a joint celebration of the Holy Feast of Epiphany. The city's Greek Orthodox congregation joined members of the Romanian Orthodox Church along the Fox River for the traditional blessing of the waters.
Celebrations across the Chicago area tonight honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on what would have been his 95th birthday. The city of Aurora held its 39th annual MLK ceremony at Calvary Church. Tonight's speakers included 17-year-old PhD recipient Dorothy
A
Till.
hero is being recognized for springing into action in Aurora and potentially saving lives as well. Mayor Richard Irvin presented Brian Moreno with the MVP award for his calm, heroic actions at an Aurora warming center this past weekend. Saturday night, Moreno saw a man hit another person with a gun and point the weapon at other people. That's when he called 911 while ushering other people outside to safety. The attacker was then arrested.
The community is gathering together in the western suburbs to mark a solemn anniversary. 5 years since a disgruntled worker went on a shooting rampage and killed 5 people at the Henry Pratt Company.
A somber night and emotional candlelight vigil at Aurora's Bell Salle Events Center, honoring 5 men who tragically died 5 years ago today at the Henry Pratt Company.
This weekend marked the start of the Lunar New Year, and West Suburban Aurora honored the occasion with their special New Year celebration. City officials joined Aurora's Chinese leaders and community members at Pacifica Square.
New this morning, the largest Indian jewelry brand opened its latest flagship store in Aurora. Tanisha has over 400 stores in India and just opened its 4th in America on the east side of Aurora.
A Black History Month celebration in Aurora included a salute to some of the city's top black leaders. Aurora's Progressive Baptist Church invited Mayor Richard Irvin and other black executives to their Sunday service. The church's pastor called it an opportunity to make black role models accessible for Aurora's youth.
It is a proud Women's History Month for the city of Aurora. The first city council meeting of the month started with a salute to its female leaders. Mayor Richard Irvin recognized alderwomen Wani Garza, Patty Smith, and Shweta Bade, along with other city department and division leaders.
More than 50 faith leaders came together at a breakfast yesterday in Aurora. The Interfaith Alliance Leadership Breakfast was initiated by Mayor Richard Irvin. The group came together to network and to discuss the top issues facing the city. That included how to help those without homes and prepare for the upcoming census count.
Aurora is celebrating the Muslim holy month of Ramadan with a special proclamation and prayer at tonight's City Council meeting.
We support our Muslim residents in Aurora and around the world during the observance of Ramadan and all throughout the year.
Well, this building has been vacant for 5 years, but now it's serving as a fresh start for those looking to get back on their feet.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the new apartments here.
The doors are open, and that means dreams are limitless.
Happening today, a ceremony in Aurora will honor a special city employee. Quatiana Strouder is being recognized for her work during Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month.
Meanwhile, West Suburban Aurora celebrated its 2nd annual Shamrock the Block celebration. There you see the residents. They gathered downtown for the city's annual St. Patrick's Day parade and the raising of the Irish flag.
We'll be honoring Greek Independence Day. At noon, the city will hold a Greek flag raising ceremony at One Aurora Plaza.
Hundreds of families in Aurora enjoyed finding those Easter eggs. Look at them go. 2 separate egg hunts held over the weekend. They were hosted by the Aurora City Council. The inaugural Easter egg extravaganza at Martin Luther King Park and the annual Easter egg hunt at McCarty
The city of Aurora is honoring National Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month. Members of Aurora's Sikh community will join Mayor Richard Irvin at tonight's city council meeting to celebrate.
April is National Fair Housing Month, and one new affordable housing development is coming for the seniors of Aurora.
I don't think there's any words to describe it if it's almost like a dream come true.
The 1449 senior estates will have 70 brand new single-family homes and duplexes on Aurora's far west side for those 62 and older.
So many feelings of just pure joy and excitement here at McCarty Elementary School in Aurora, where hundreds of our littlest learners are getting this cool experience.
In non-eclipse news, a church in Aurora received a special honor this month from the city's mayor.
And do hereby proclaim the month of April as Mount Island Turkey God in Christ month in the city of Aurora. From this point on.
April is National Volunteer Month, and the city of Aurora has named its 2024 Volunteer of the Year.
That is Curtis Wilson. And here is why this is why he's this year's winner.
911 operators in Aurora were honored yesterday as part of National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. It's a story that's making us Chicago proud. Video shows Mayor Richard Irvin presenting Aurora's headset heroes with personalized proclamations for their work. Each also received a self-care basket to help get them through their long shifts.
Love for our teachers. Aurora is appreciating its hometown Illinois Teacher of the Year recipient. Mayor Richard Irvin surprising her in the classroom today to announce that Friday, May 31st, will be Dr. Rachel Mahmood Day in that city.
There is special honor for a City Hall staff member in Aurora for the 2nd time this year is making Chicago proud.
Do we have a red cape to put on him?
Superhero for sure. Tonight, Brian Marino was honored for performing CPR and saving a man who had collapsed at a meeting last month. Now, back in January, Marino was honored for saving people from a man with a gun at a warming center.
We're lucky to have
A popular new ice cream shop helped families in Aurora celebrate Mother's Day. Brewster's Real Ice Cream held its grand opening celebration this weekend. There was music, dancing, a ribbon-cutting ceremony led by Aurora's Mayor Richard Irving. Also, Brewster's offers more than 150 different flavors of ice cream.
Thousands of people across the city and suburbs marked Memorial Day today.
In Aurora, thousands of people lined the streets for a parade. Leading the way was World War II veteran Dick Miller. He was born and raised in Aurora before enlisting in the United States Navy when he graduated from high school.
The city of Aurora is making some big changes to the way it deals with mental health issues.
Today, the city cut the ribbon on a new crisis intervention unit, which sends social workers, not police officers, to respond to a crisis.
Welcome to the new CIA.
On Tuesday afternoon, a ribbon-cutting ceremony was held for the unit's new dedicated workspace.
A big moment in the western suburbs with the opening of a black-owned manufacturing company. Reverend Jesse Jackson was on hand to welcome CamFlex to the city of Aurora yesterday. The company makes processing equipment for pharmaceutical, aerospace, and automotive industry.
The city of Aurora will be celebrating Pride Month with its annual Pride flag raising ceremony. It marks the start of the city's Pride weekend.
Big crowds were on hand for Aurora's Pride Parade. Thousands lined the streets for the 5th annual parade down Broadway Street. More than 80 parade units from around the area participated in the 2-hour event. The city of Aurora has a new royal court. It's all to kick off Juneteenth week ahead of this holiday next Wednesday. The new king, queen, prince, and princess all hail from West and East Aurora High, along with Oswego East and Waubonsee Valley High School.
1,000 families in the west suburbs are going into the holiday weekend with plenty to celebrate and plenty to eat. Aurora held its 4th annual Juneteenth food distribution this morning. Aurora is continuing its week-long Juneteenth celebration with a new mural. Aurora Blues was unveiled today on the eve of Juneteenth.
Suburbs, the city of Aurora is concluding its week-long celebration of Juneteenth with a youth summit this morning and a Juneteenth flag-raising ceremony this afternoon. More than 100 predominantly black young people were gathered to hear and be part of different discussions on a variety of topics, including college preparation and how to interact with law enforcement.
The city of Aurora and HelloFresh are partnering to provide 4,000 meal kits to residents.
Elizabeth Matthews is live with much more on the Hello Summer HelloFresh initiative. Hey, Elizabeth.
Yeah, hey guys, and boy, I'm sure you feel it too. It is summer out here in Aurora. People have been lined up a couple hours at the first location. We've actually moved locations since you last saw us, but we're in Aurora. City of Aurora.
Congratulations to 2 amazing student athletes this morning. Last night, Aurora Mayor Richard Irvin honored track and field champions Kawan Marshall and Patrick Hilby.
Well, happening today, Aurora's Mayor Richard Irvin is presenting his second quarter State of the City address, and the mayor will be joined by the city's police and fire chiefs.
Aurora kicked off its 2-day independence celebration last night with 2 parties at 2 downtown parks. Doing the Cupid Shuffle there. There were food trucks, live music, and dancing. Later, a fireworks show lit up the sky.
And today's gloomy skies didn't stop Aurora residents from decking out in red, white, and blue. People lined the streets of downtown Aurora for the annual 4th of July parade. It was led by the Citizens Police Academy of Aurora, who served as Grand Marshals.
3, 2, 1. One by one, Aurora Mayor Richard Irvin helped welcome 12 new stores at the city's Fox Valley Mall.
3, 2, 1.
And each one received their very own ribbon.
It's Colombian Independence Day. For the first time, the mayor of Aurora and the Colombian Consul General of Chicago raised the Colombian flag to celebrate the country's 214th Independence Day.
Aurora will be celebrating Bolivian Independence Day today.
And today marks the 199th anniversary of Bolivia's independence. Mayor Richard Irvin will be joined by Bolivian leaders for the 2nd annual flag-raising ceremony.
A school closed for 20 years will reopen today on Aurora Aurora as a new youth center. The former Emmanuel Lutheran School on Aurora's east side is now the Northern Lights Youth Center.
Well, a transformation in west suburban Aurora is taking an old school building and converting them, more than one, into affordable housing. Today, the city of Aurora celebrated the remodel of Lincoln Elementary School. It's been turned into an apartment complex with 14 new units. The school was shuttered for 15 years before the city made the decision to turn it into affordable housing.
A teacher in Aurora will maintain a presence near her former school forever after helping to enrich young minds for more than 5 decades there. The street across from Holy Angels now bears the name of Laura Wagner.
Mayor Richard Irvin delivered his State of Education address tonight.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the state of our education in Aurora is robust. The state of our education in Aurora is resilient. The state of education in Aurora is remarkable.
This morning, Aurora is celebrating Mexican Independence Day with its annual Mexican flag-raising ceremony.
The city of Aurora is recognizing the work of barbers. Dozens of barbers will be on hand for breakfast later this morning to honor their work. Aurora is home to a number of barbershops, including Champions Barber University. The third Monday of September has been designated as World Barber Day.
Crowds converge downtown to experience dozens of food trucks, everything from appetizers to main courses, even dessert. Aurora has hosted a spring food truck festival for years. This is their first go at it during the fall.
Aurora's German community will get together today for a flag raising to mark German Unity Day.
It was all wagging tails and cute costumes at the 6th annual Pooch Parade in west suburban Aurora yesterday. More than 100 dogs and their owners strutted their stuff for fun awards like Best Costume and Most Energetic.
Aurora honors its war veterans with an annual bricklaying ceremony. The honor of an inscribed brick is given to all of Aurora's veterans, both living and deceased. This year, 33 new bricks were laid at Phillips Park.
Families lit up the dance floor in west suburban Aurora with the help of a special robot.
Oh, I gotta get one of these.
Yeah, I wonder how much they cost. This is part of Aurora's Luminora light display experience.
First of its kind flag raising in Aurora. Yesterday, the city celebrated Filipino-American History Month with its inaugural Filipino flag
We're getting
raising.
new details tonight on the Hollywood Casino construction project in Aurora.
And we never know the hard work and time that our contractors put into making something like this, something marvelous like this happen.
By the way, this is just the first in a series of updates that will be given throughout the construction process.
A groundbreaking ceremony for new apartments will take place in Aurora later today. Located on the Fox River, it is the first development in downtown Aurora in more than 20 years. It's a $90 million complex that'll have more than 200 apartments. It'll also include an indoor parking garage, a swimming pool, and a dog park.
Nice.
Yeah, all the accoutrements. Spell that for me. You really want me to? No. Okay. I bet I am curious. I'll tell you during commercial break.
That's a year in the life of Mocha. Yeah, it's about 50% of the work that we do. So much more, of course, doesn't make the news. It's not what it's meant for. But we are here, the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, or to come off of Tanya's Babbitt's word, the Mayor's Office of Community Accoutrements there. So if you look at these things that collectively enhance Aurora's community's life and identity, the accoutrements of Aurora, our community events, our cultural activities and spaces, our community engagement initiatives, and so many other things, parks and recreation, educational institutions, public art. So this department strives to be that one Aurora voice that the mayor has talked about for more than 20 years, certainly the last 7.5 years. You see the org chart of our 3 divisions and our growing team. And at the bottom of that org chart are the ERGs like Power, that Michelle and Diamond are in charge of, our boards and commissions, most of them cultural, including the HRC. And the alliances that the mayor has put into place, the Aurora Interfaith Alliance, the Aurora Realtors Alliance, the Aurora Barbers Alliance, and the Aurora Mentors Alliance, all of us coming together to move things forward. If you look at our Community Events Division, Mike Nelson is here. If you have questions for his budget, but 2024 highlights, there's an increase in staff. We thank you for that and thank the team. additional events that were assumed, particularly from Aurora downtown, that they were going to release. And this division stepped up and kept them moving forward for the sake of the community. Gratefully. Enhanced farmers market, more people and activities. We increased from 1 state of the city address to 4 states of the city addresses, 4 new flag raisings this year, and many events from the LGBTQ and Indian American Community Outreach Advisory Board, which are both liaisons are with the Community Events Division, including Diwali this weekend. Preview for 2025, many more new events coming, including, you saw the Fall Festival, the Fall Food Truck Festival, keeping it here, assuming the Spring Food Truck Festival from Aurora downtown, so we can keep things consistent on both sides of the summer. A community events calendar led by the Mead Commission, but certainly input from this division, so that we can come to one stop now in Aurora and find the events that are happening. Thanks to IT and the Communications and Marketing Department for their leadership on that. And so many expanded partnerships internally with different departments that this division works with, and externally with so many community groups. Yesterday was National Event Organizers Day, so we celebrated the team here. And if you just look at the Facebook comments about the love from the community from an organizational standpoint, you can see what we mean by expanded and enhanced partnerships. That is our Community Events Division. Are there any questions on the division or the budget for that while Mike is here?
Alderman Bug, do you have a question?
I will go second if anybody else has it.
Well, let me start out by saying that presentation was almost perfect. Had you included the Italian flag raising, you would have been cheering on the Sunday.
I was thinking of you last night.
Well, that's okay, because there's another year next year. But the fact that you did this, it kind of makes up for it, so that's good stuff. I did have a question. If we go to page 416, which is a decision package, it's the business outreach activities.
And that's under equity?
Oh, so, so I'll wait for that.
Okay.
And then the other question I had, it might be for Mike, it's under community events. It was on page 428. It was just, it's a small thing, but I was just kind of curious about it. It was $1,000 in revenue from the 4th of July parade.
Revenue.
What is that? What would that
Sure,
be?
so it's 4th of July in general, so that's revenue that we gather from the participating food trucks, vendors, and whatnot that do our fireworks on the 3rd.
Okay.
So we do charge a participation fee.
Okay.
It's nominal, but
Right,
but
it
helps.
was such a small amount for a big event. I'm just kind of curious how that came in.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, for that event, we charge a nominal amount. We want to get as many food trucks and vendors in as possible, so and we do a really nice job.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's the only questions I have. Alderman Irvine, would you like to go now?
Yeah, I just have one. Because Alderman Mervine, my good friend, is in my ear.
Sure.
Every year, of course, we ask if any possibility of bringing back a Far East Side farmers market.
Yes.
Be it a smaller scale,
Sure.
couple times, once,
Yep.
or whatever. Especially with our robust and fantastic crew we have now, maybe it's a possibility to move it around.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, and I always say, our farmers market team has grown, and we've gotten more creative than ever. So we are always looking for new areas, new vendors, new anything to give something a try. So absolutely, yeah.
Any other questions or comments for Clayton or Mike? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
everybody.
it. Thank you.
Thank you to our Community Events Division, strong team. And yes, Alderman Bug, we certainly talked about pop-up farmer markets. Maybe not a full scale, but certainly pop-ups out there. Our next division, equity and equity, diversity, and inclusion. That's where most of the decision packages are for our department. 2024 highlights, and Michelle Clark is here, the Business Equity Program that has launched to really work with minority women-owned businesses, to level the playing field. The community outreach from that program has been amazing. A business resource fair, just connections with our business community. Last night you all approved the new alliance, so certainly we'll work with that group, in this context of business equity and reaching out to the business community. Michelle leads a strong staff professional development, working with LaDonna Carr and Kelvin Bean in the Training and Development Division, just really working on inclusion and access with our team as well. Michelle's hosted a monthly EDI video series, EDI in the Moment, that people, that our staff members can just log on and just catch up with EDI professional development just at their own time. And a fantastic series. Hosted community workshops right here in this room on crucial conversations, how to do business with Aurora in partnership with our procurement division. Citywide cultural initiatives that are really still growing so much under the EDI banner. You see all of our flag raisings and see our work on Juneteenth, and you'll see with community engagement how we're expanding that concept of cultural initiatives to really make certain that everybody knows they belong here in Aurora. Then the work of the Human Relations Commission, the outreach. I haven't seen so much outreach in my time, in my 12 years here. I have in the last 2 years under Michelle's direct liaison leadership, really working with the HRC. They're at our faith community breakfasts. They're out in the community spreading the word just on how people can access the services of the HRC. 2025 preview, inclusive leadership training. We see that in the decision packages. A new community website to really bring people into the fold. Business education workshops under the Business Equity Program. Really diversifying our city interns across all departments. Working with Michelle, working with HR and our city departments to make certain that we have a diverse city team. We see clearly where we have the gaps at. When we host an internship summer breakfast and we take a group photo, we clearly see where the gaps are at. And then increase the ERGs, employee resource groups, as we have employees come on and they want to form groups beyond the power group. Right. Any questions for Michelle?
Alderman Bate.
Clayton, can you please expand, or Michelle, if you could expand on new community website?
Thank you for that question. Right now, we launched in 2024 the Business Equity website, but you'll notice that EDI as a whole does not have an external facing website. So in 2025, as we get onto the new platform, we will have a website that talks about what we do around equity, diversity, inclusion as a whole.
And it will be linked to our city's website?
Yes, it'll be the city. Right now, there's no, for the work that we do in the equity division, we don't, other than the business equity website, we're not talking about or telling our story around how diverse the city is and all the efforts that we're doing under the equity banner.
So events calendar and
that will all be connected to it, yeah, but will be focused on just our commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I think. Oh yes. So yeah. So I'm sorry. Under it was 416. It was a decision package for business outreach activities. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you'll recall we did that disparity study, and as a result, there were 9 recommendations, one of which was to increase the number of events that we hold in terms of connecting with the business community. And so this year we held a few events, but next year we've started planning. We will host some form of business education workshop each month where we're connecting our small business owners to the resources that we have available. So it's all centered around making sure we're increasing the number of small businesses, minority women-owned businesses who are able to contract with the city and do business with the city. And then for those businesses who may not contract with us, how do we scale them and build their capacity so that they're growing at a faster rate? And so, because what happens is as they grow, they hire more people, and those people are employed, they add to our economy. And so it all ties into part of the Mayor's C initiative.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then finally, our community engagement division envisioned that we transition into the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs this year as communications grew to its own amazing department. We brought in community engagement to help balance things out. So the highlights of that, we're transitioning into MOCA for the half of the year with our current staff members that came out of community services. We brought in a manager the second half of the year who's really helping to formalize things. Now all staff positions are currently filled as they work to build a new neighborhood group plan for your neighborhood groups, the 20 plus, and then watching them continue to grow. You'll see representation there and just really working with you individually and with the Alderman's office with Rich Jacobs to make certain that your needs are met from a community engagement standpoint, all in process and all growing. Developing a neighborhood starter kit for those neighborhood groups that say, hey, we want to be a part of the City of Aurora's neighborhood programs there. And a strong kit that very near completion that we'll roll out to those groups who want to either reactivate or activate for the first time. The Special Census Committee, a huge part of the work of this engagement team as we go into first quarter of next year, as we know a special census is coming, is to be boots on the ground out there in the streets, really working on behalf of the city to inform people and to make certain that we get the counts up, the self count, and then also when the census folks are out there to help work with our marketing department to spread the word and just to be out all the neighborhood groups. They've been doing so for the last few months, and we're only going to watch that increase in the next year. We have a national federal tree grant as we work to populate this urban forest here in Aurora. And ironically, you kind of lay a map over the census tracts there. We're recounting, or for lack of a better word, recounting a lot of those same areas where we should be populating with trees as well. So we're watching a merger of both of those groups really working together and building the synergy. And just community engagement activities as a whole. When a neighborhood group called and said, hey, we'd like to do this event or we'd like to do that, we'll be there to support and have been throughout the year. 2025 preview, going to continue to build out the division. If you look at the budget of all three divisions, it's the one that's least robust. As Ileana's come in this later half of the year, just really getting things firm, kind of seeing where this division goes and grows. She brought a couple great programs that will happen in the latter half of next year. So we'll be looking at in the budget amendment process of 2025, really working to beef up the budget as we come through that first full year under her leadership to see where the dollars should lie. But right now the focus will be on neighborhood groups and census and tree grant. Two events that Ileana has proposed, however, to parallel our Juneteenth Youth Summit, very successful youth summit, 100+ students, really working on Hispanic Heritage Youth Summit citywide and Hispanic Heritage Month, the latter half of the year, and then a citywide family festival, bringing people together just to celebrate family and to keep them engaged. So neighborhood group, barriers removed, just everyone coming together. And then we're soberly excited about the Factor Food Van, and that will be coming next month. We hosted 2 Factor giveaways this year, very successful, 4,000 meal kits each, and just lines throughout the city. We look forward to building the mobile program with community engagement as we go throughout the city. And if all lines up, it will be a first kickoff right before Thanksgiving. Any questions for Ileana?
Questions or comments from the committee? No, I think we're good, Clayton. Thank you.
Okay. That concludes my update.
Any overall questions for Mr. Mohammed before he goes? Again, thank you for the presentation. You set the standard high for the other divisions. Good for you. So hopefully they'll bring up their game. But good job for you guys. Thank you all for the work you do out there. I know you guys have come to our meetings, and it's just so wonderful. And we hope we can see you more in the future because you guys, I know you guys come to my meetings. It's perfect. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it, all of you.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Can we have an introduction since all of the teams?
Sure. Clayton, one more thing. If we could have, which we've been doing recently, is basically introducing the various employees out there so we can put a name with a face. If we can do that from whoever wants to lead that.
Oh, definitely. If you guys can introduce yourself.
Ileana Rivera Nunez, Community Engagement Manager. Karina Suarez Darden, Community Engagement Specialist.
Brian Moreno, Community Engagement Specialist. Austin Zepeda, the Administrative Aide.
I'm Diamond Black, the Equity and Inclusion Coordinator. Michelle Clark, Director Equity. Carla Thomas, Manager of Community Events.
Mike Nelson, Community Events Director. We've got 2 more.
Troy Davis Jr., Special Events Coordinator.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have communications and marketing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Tony Martinez, Chief Communication Marketing Officer. That's a tough act to follow. So good thing is my video is 34 minutes long. It's twice as long as Clayton's. No, I'm just kidding. I have a couple videos where they're like 2 minutes. Don't worry. So this year marks the inaugural year of our department. We have 4 divisions within our department. We have customer service, brand and marketing, communications, and video production. We do have some of the team here. We have our managers here present. We have Ricky Benjamin, a customer service manager, Tom King, who's a brand and marketing manager, John Zaglul, who is our communications manager, and Matt Winthers from video production. As you see, this is the entire org chart there. So we're around 20 strong with 2 part-time interns. And we're going to give a little highlight of what the team has done this year. So as we started off the year, many members of our team have been with the organization less than a year. All of them have been here less than 2 years. I completed my 3 years this year, so we were all new to the organization, some new to the city, some not so new. But we decided to have a team building session, a team building work session throughout a few days to really figure out who we are as a team, as individuals, identifying skill sets, personalities, and how we mesh together as a team. We call this our tribe vibe team building session. Basically, everyone took personality assessments that we use a consultant for, one I've used for many years, and it really categorizes people into really 3 categories. Warrior, healer, and seer. And you can see those are the traits on the screen there that identify for each personality trait for each person. Basically, the reasoning for this is as we get into the thick of things and working together, it's important to realize who the individuals are on the team and how they like to be communicated to, right? And how well we know each other. So that way, when there are discussions, when there are heated discussions, or you know, when we're working on projects together, we know how to communicate with each other, and we know who has specific skill sets, personality types for certain projects. So you know, if we need someone who's a really go-getter, you know, and Billy doesn't care, we'll get to the bottom line no matter what. That's kind of a warrior. So we put some warriors and then complement those individuals with other people from the team that are either a healer or seer. From that team building session, as we got to know each other, we came up with a mission and vision of our department. Who do we want to be? What do we want to do? So we came up all together with a mission statement to inform, connect, and inspire the community of Aurora to become more engaged through innovative, strategic, and effective communication and marketing initiatives. And as we do that as a team, we always need to make sure that we keep our core values intact as we complete those projects. You know, we're out in the community working with each other. And those values are collaboration with dependability and communication, mutual respect with trust and professionalism, and accountability. No matter what we do, we always have to be accountable for what we do. So that is how we operate on a day-to-day basis. We finally are at full staff. We backfilled our graphic design position. Alice and Janice started this week, so now we are completely 100% fully staffed in our department for the first time this year. So really excited. We've done a lot of great things, which I'll highlight here momentarily. On the brand and marketing side, so in this presentation, I'll kind of go over the highlights. We'll go over some decision packages for each, and then customer service I'll leave for the end. So brand and marketing. Some 2024 highlights. We completed 78 graphic design requests, and that ranges from flyers to RFP proposals, graphic design requests of logos for different organizations, for different commissions, also different projects going out throughout the city. We did a refresh on our city logo, so there was a 78 graphic design requests this year, and that was all with kind of one graphic designer, Tom King. And over 98 social media graphics and all. There are 122 photography requests. So we are very blessed to have some great photographers on our team. One of those being Tom King. He's a great photographer. So we've used all of those, obviously those photos on social media. We've been using for a lot of different collateral materials, and people have been really loving all those captured moments that we had throughout the year. been a lot of brand and marketing initiatives really to try to make the brand a little bit more consistent. We also created a brand guideline sheet that the entire city follows. We also have been working with economic development to help streamline their marketing initiatives and how they attract businesses and keep businesses here also in Aurora. Our video services team, they have been pretty busy. So for the past 7 months, there we go. Past 7 months, we have to show a little video. Okay, we can play the video. Go ahead.
Run it up. Run it up.
So our video team has been very, very busy this year. They've created over 100 videos in just 7 months. And you can tell from the video there, those views on those videos were actually in real time. So just the East-West highlight video garnered over 80,000 views on all our social media channels. The highlight from Leilani for the Worst Kitchen, 60,000 views. So, you know, we're creating these videos for a purpose, right? Highlighting our local businesses, highlighting the great things going on in Aurora, highlighting our schools to make sure we get the word out and really showcase our city, and people are loving it. So we'll continue to do that. We just brought back Aurora Eats. We launched our first episode a couple of weeks ago, and we have about 7 or 8 in the hopper, so we'll continue to do that. And as we release those videos, we're releasing them on social media. We're also releasing them on, obviously, the ACTV, our community access television, and then also the app. So anything that we put on our public access channel, we do have the City of Aurora app where everything comes in high definition. We'll really start pushing that as we increase the programming on our public access channel as we currently are. Then we talk about communication. You know, Clayton showed a very great newsreel on the events and how the news has been covering our events. We've done the same thing, you know, in our department. We really help each other out. We have been able to generate a value of over $315 million in coverage on television, radio, online, and print. Which that means that if we were out to go and buy those spaces, those television ad spaces, those spaces in online and on print, it would have cost us over $315 million, but we have created some great partnerships with our news outlets, with our print advertisers, with our online partners to be able to capitalize on those partnerships, and really a lot of it is just done just organically, right? We've established those relationships, and they're able to really just run all of the news that we feed to them because we know how to do it and when to do it to make it attractive for them. This gives
Look at this, a bird of prey watching over Aurora. This red-tailed hawk was spotted downtown on the Downer Street Bridge yesterday. Animal Control Officer Quentin Johnson gently interacting with it, and he finally took it to be checked out at the Willowbrook Wildlife Center.
And having bigger and better was not necessarily the thing that drove me. What drove me was to say, hey, what can that be? Mm-hmm. What could that building be? What could that business be? And be some way part of a team that made it better.
How'd you become an elite volleyball player? And I'm going to say elite, Aurora elite volleyball player.
Yeah, so I started at a really young age. I was 5, 6 years old, starting club volleyball at Sports Performance. That's also in Aurora, Illinois.
Aurora will unveil a new downtown mural commemorating the city's connection to blues music. The mural, created by Chicago artist Max Sansing, features the likes of Buddy Guy, Coco Taylor, B.B. King, and others.
Man, we are 110% ready, and willing and able to bring the Bears home to Aurora.
The city of Aurora is taking people back in time, giving them an idea of what it was like to be a soldier during World War I.
Aurora, Illinois is very special because I spent a lot of my formative years in Aurora, Illinois, shot a lot of music videos when I was in high school in Aurora, Illinois, and it's just all around a very special city to me.
The 12th annual Fiestas Patrias Festival returns to Aurora's River Edge Park this weekend. Tony Martinez with the city of Aurora is here to talk more all about this two-day festival. Tony, good morning to you.
Animal care and control celebrating after a record-breaking year. So far in 2024, animal control has transferred 367 animals out of the facility.
Residents can learn how to better protect themselves from computer hacks free of charge. The city is offering community members a free home internet security course and virtual cybersecurity workshop.
There's so much colorful things around here, and there's even some stuff there's that one thing where you can draw.
It lights up, and sometimes it goes yellow, sometimes it goes blue. You have to jump on it when it's blue.
What do you like about this?
I like that I'm actually doing this.
That you're actually doing this? Is it fun? Have you danced? Have you run? Have you jumped? What have you done?
I've been jumping, and I was here before you were here.
No, this is great. Really just capturing and highlighting the events and the moments. So our department is also in charge of putting together Fiestas Patrias along with ACA, with River Edge Park. We have also taken over the Film Fest that's coming up here next month. One of the videos that a young gentleman looked like he was talking in the middle of the night, because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. That is going to be our featured speaker for the Film Fest, Mr. Cole Bennett. He is the founder of Lyrical Lemonade, which is a very, very popular festival in downtown Chicago. He's also produced videos for Eminem, Drake, and the kids love him. His video got around 60,000 views within one day, and really from all the youth so pumped up and all the high schoolers. It's even younger than yourself, Alderman Tolliver, and myself. The high school kids are going crazy over him. So we're excited to have him here next month for our Film Fest. We also had, as you can see, there was a lot of television, but there was some radio mixed in there, and then online and print coverage. We want to make sure that, as we continue to grow as a communications and marketing department, to be able to diversify all of our messaging and meet people where they're at. So that's why you'll see radio, that's why you see television, that's why you'll see print coverage. And we've had some great blessing to be able to partner, and here are some examples of that online and print coverage that we've had this year. Social media. Social media is one of the biggest drivers, one of the biggest engagement tools we have in the city. Just as the department has taken over all of the social media just this year, you see the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. That when you have dedicated individuals to really execute our social media presence and really have that focused effort, it does pay off in dividends. You see our Facebook has gone up 23%. Engaged followers have gone up double. Our Instagram followers have increased almost 300%. Twitter, 300% now. LinkedIn is 200%. We're actually one of the most we are the most active organization within the Chicagoland area when it comes to LinkedIn. We've generated more followers than any other organization other than obviously the city of Chicago. But we are definitely up there. And YouTube, we have continued to grow our YouTube channel, and we're averaging around 71,000 impressions. So people viewing our videos every month, which is great. This past week has been a record breaker for all of our social media. We've been seeing just record-breaking numbers and people engaging and viewing all of our content on social media. When we talk about digital engagement, we're in the process also of redeveloping our website, which is still on schedule to be launched in February. But we did release our Your Voice engagement website. So this is where we highlight our projects, where the community members can come and engage, ask questions on different projects going on. The aldermen and alderwomen pages went live. Those are the engagement websites. So we have seen almost 30,000 visitors to our Your Voice pages, which is great. There's been a couple thousand also for even the aldermen and alderwomen pages, which is something we'd like to see. We also launched our new email platform, which is our attempt to kind of centralize all of our communication that goes out. Previously, we used a lot of different software to get email messaging out, get texting out. We centralized everything, brought everything under one umbrella. We've increased our email database from previous years, from 10,000 every time we send out an email to over 80,000 recipients for every email that we send out. We're averaging over 45% open rate on our emails, so that means that every time we send out an email from our department or Clayton sends out an email, for over 40,000 people are opening those emails. So that is huge when it comes to email marketing and the way we get our word out. Right now, kind of go over the decision packages. There's just for the brand marketing and video production. We have the branded marketing coordinator. This position will help support the marketing and communication needs, specifically for the IT department and the Financial Empowerment Center, so the FEC. We've experienced this year, especially with the FEC and IT, a lot of great things happening there. There's just not enough capacity on the team to be able to address their needs, and really for the Financial Empowerment Center, as we continue to evolve that and grow that part of the organization, they really need someone dedicated to be there and be that marketing resource to help them rebrand as they continue to build the business there to attract our current community members there. Also in the branded marketing, we have our digital signage. Right now, there is no centralized software that we have to control all of our digital signs, whether internally or externally. So we did use the marketplace, a program and process to find a vendor and HyperSign, which basically we can continue to build out our interior and exterior our digital signage. So basically it's just modules that we can connect to the monitors. We have one of them connected here to one of these two big monitors out there. And then we have it's all a centralized platform where my team can help push out the messaging to the different monitors. And then we can also assign different individuals by department if they need. An example of that is the Aurora Police Department needs a lot of interior signage when it comes to their police officers and messaging to their employees. There's a way to assign different users for different monitors, and that way they can push out communication to their staff internally. And then we can also really control any other monitor that we add to the system. So this will really help our communication, really engagement, not only externally but internally. And then as we look forward to more exterior signage, I know some wards have some signs, Alderman Bug, I know you also have a sign in your ward to be able to control those also, centrally, from our department. And then we have the video production as for a video services coordinator. Right now, obviously they're able to create a lot of videos, but as we look at, growing that, obviously the demand for video and video production has been great. There are some gaps when in terms of trying to turn around videos in a timely manner, and there's certain skill sets that go into creating a video, right? It's just not just going out there and taking the video camcorder out there and shooting it. It's really a lot of the back end work, right? A specific skill set in lighting, specific skill set in sound, and a sound engineer, post production. Somebody to sit there and edit the videos, which really does take a lot of time. So we're really looking to add a video services coordinator to help with that back end, with the post-production work, so somebody can be dedicated and really skilled on doing that post-production work, so then that way the team can shoot, and then we have a dedicated resource to just sit there and edit and really crank out the videos as we need. And there's also a decision package for interview and highlight video equipment. So this is equipment, I mean, obviously we have a lot of equipment here. We purchased it for the 2nd and 5th floor, but a lot of that equipment that we purchased was really for live broadcasting. So we're set on the live broadcast. So as you can see, we just did the East-West game. We had the video team out there. We had a team out there covering the entire field, but there's a need for some video equipment for interviews, interview style highlight, which is specialized equipment to just get that look and feel. A lot of the videos that you've seen that we've highlighted, Ballydoyle that just came out, Craft Urban, the Roundhouse, a lot of that was shot on some personal cameras from our new employees. Because we just didn't have that equipment on hand, and the live broadcasting cameras are just a little bit different, right? To be able to capture those moments. So I'll stop right there for right now before we get into customer service to see if there's any questions on brand and marketing, communications, or video production.
Questions or comments from the committee? Sorry. I had one, the video services coordinator. And under the description, adding another video services coordinator position, how many positions does that give us total?
So that goes 3 full-time video service coordinators.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have the manager, and this will be we have 2 right now. We have Alex Johnson, who does mainly the live broadcast. He's been with the team the longest. We have Luke, who also has a video, big background, and then this will be an additional.
Additional one, so we'll have 3 of those.
Yeah, we'll have 3.
Okay.
Yes.
That was the only question I have. Anybody else have anything at this point? I think we're good to move on. Thank you.
Okay. So now we'll go, and last but not least, we'll go to our customer service. So customer service, I know some of you have heard, there's been conversation about 311, right? My Aurora 311. So, really this, the decision packages for this will help address as we continue to move towards 311. We acquired the 301 software, and I'm going to bring up our customer service manager, Ricky Benjamin, to kind of give a little description of what it's going to do, what our plans are for the future right after this video.
City of Aurora, Leticia speaking.
Hi, I'm looking to operate a food truck in Aurora.
Sure, let me go ahead and send you over to fire prevention, okay? Bear with me.
Good morning, fire prevention. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to operate a food truck in Aurora.
Sorry, we only do the inspections. You will need to talk to the city clerk's office to apply.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and transfer you. Just a moment here.
Hello, how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to operate a food truck in Aurora.
Well, actually, the process starts with revenue and collections. Let me transfer you.
Revenue and collections, how can I help you?
You're the 3rd person I talked to. How do I open a food truck?
Oh, you have to apply online. Let me send you the link. Hello? Anybody there? Hello?
Is this Comcast? This sounds like Comcast.
City of Aurora, Leticia speaking.
Hi, I'm looking to operate a food truck in Aurora.
Oh, sure. You need to go online and submit an application. I will email you a link and an informational brochure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, so I'll introduce Ricky Benjamin, our customer service manager. We'll kind of give a brief rundown of 311 and the future of it.
Good afternoon. So the video here is somewhat comical. It is actually, though, what it looks like sometimes when a citizen is calling the City of Aurora. So not to pinpoint any specific division, but just the general way of contacting the city. There's multiple divisions, multiple ways, multiple avenues that the citizens are calling us right now. So by implementing 311, you can see this graph here kind of shows you the multiple avenues, the ways that people can contact the city. Currently, each division has their own main line. Each division has their own process and procedure of how they're addressing certain calls that the city's receiving. Right now, they can use the web portal, they can go online, there's an app, they can call customer service, they can call the individual divisions. The ultimate goal, if you would like to go to the next slide, please. Oh, sorry. Here is what is consolidating the system, which is what the second part of that video showed us. So right now, by implementing 311, we have the first point of contact so that citizens are calling 311, and then we're filtering the information, the requests that they're contacting us in regards to. So we're building an in-depth database and knowledge-based articles to build in all the information from the individual divisions. and implementing that into our new software. We will still have a website and an app that the citizens can use that's much more user-friendly than the current one that we have. So the ultimate goal is to be that first point of contact and address their concerns or questions in that conversation. If it has to then filter out to the individual divisions because it meets a level of complexity, then that's what would be the process and procedure for 311. So by implementing 311, we'll be increasing our call volume, which means we'll need additional staff. So currently we take about 200 phone calls a day, and we'll be looking at taking 800 phone calls a day. Due to the increase in volume, we'll need the increase in staff, and that's what the decision packages are in regards to. So we've asked for 3 full-time positions, and that is to cover the new process for 311, the additional increase in phone calls, and additional tasks that we'll be taking on as a division.
So as we looked at the numbers, right, we just came out, how did they get to 800 calls? So we've looked historically and how many calls have come into all the different departments. That's how we came up to with the total of 800 calls a day, because that's what we currently get right now. So basically, yes, our 301 will be that front line, be the ones to really be that quarterback to answer all of the questions that come in. So that's why you'll see the request for an increase of 3 to help with those inbound calls that are coming in.
Can I stop right there? Because I did have that question, and you kind of answered it, because I was wondering how we came up with 3 without actually having the center open yet. So that explains that. But if 311 division is going to handle customer service calls and adding 3 people on, will there be less regular customer service calls, so we need less people there? Or, I mean, how does that work? Is divvying up the volume of calls between the 2 entities, basically?
Yeah, so with customer service transitioning into 311, we have 4 call takers currently taking about 200 calls a day. Okay. So then by increasing the staff to the 800 calls, that's just the call volume with eliminating a certain divisions. Mm-hmm. So we're increasing calls, but not needing to decrease customer service staff. So we're taking the existing numbers that we get, combined with what we will be taking by absorbing most city division lines, and then filling that gap of calls per call taker per day, average call volume, average call time, okay. And then that's how we got to the 3 additional.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Bate.
So will the resident need to call 311 instead of 630-256 info?
Yes, so 311 will be the main contact number. For the beginning implementation phase, all the individual divisions will still have their individual lines, because that's a number published on the website out to the public. However, when they call those lines, they'll be routed and forwarded to 311.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this particular topic, Ron? Alderman Orman, go ahead.
The implementation of this, like what's the rollout and what have you for this?
For a time frame?
Yeah, time frame, yeah.
So we're shooting, the launch date is March 11th, 2025.
311. 311.
Yeah, so to follow up on Alderwoman Bates' question, the 256 info will stay live, so you'll dial that, you'll just get over to 311. Eventually we'll phase out that number?
Yes, to the public. So the goal would be to eventually phase out all those individual numbers, but for the implementation phase, they'll stay live, and then eventually it'll just be you'll call 311 or a 10-digit number if you're outside city limits.
So actually, right now, our Great RT department has already began that process. So actually, there already are some cell phone providers that have already adopted the 311. So I know AT&T is one of those providers. So I know our IT department is working diligently to get all the rest of the providers on board. But yes, that is an ongoing process. So basically, you just call 311 within the city limits, and it'll go right to 256 info. So that 256 info will always stay there, but everything will just be redirected. So even if they weren't 301, they still call 256 info. It'll still go to the 301 line.
Okay. One other question.
Okay, go ahead.
For the alderman on the outskirts, are there any problems that we foresee calling from far, say, Will County, far side of Ward 5? Far side of Ward 1, so basically our boundaries.
Yeah, so it's not always a perfect science, right? So when it goes to the outskirts, sometimes there might be some boundary issues, but that's basically on just the geofencing, right, and the way things are. That's why we'll still always keep the other number, right, the 7-digit number, so that way if there are any issues, they still have the 256 info as a backup. So like I said, it's not a perfect science. You can't really drill down, pinpoint it, but there'll always still be that 7-digit number that they can still dial if there are any issues with 311.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we could continue.
Yeah, that's the end for customer service.
That's it for customer service. So for the entire department, thank you, Ricky. For the entire department, as we look into 2025, we're really looking forward to launching our website, launching My Aurora 311, which is a great initiative. We are also dedicated to create award-winning programs for ACTV, continuing to streamline communications. So, we're looking at everything that we do as an organization. That's why we're looking at the community calendar, right? The community calendar is going to go live here this weekend, where community members, community groups can submit events through that software. We'll be able to approve it from the communication side and have a centralized software that everyone can go see what events are and what events are happening throughout the city, right, in one place. And then at the end of the day, we want to be a government leader when it comes to communications and marketing, really want to be that model nationally, and I think we're on our way there.
Well, thank you. I did have one more question. I'm sorry I didn't ask before. Hours of operation for customer service now and then when 311 opens?
Yeah, so right now, the standard hours are 8 to 5, and we're looking to expand that from 7 to 7.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday. So we're also looking at different options for after hours, answering how that looks like. So we have an action group, put together with all the different departments, the mayor's office, our department, IT, really working together to figure out some solutions for kind of those after hours messaging and to make things as efficient as possible.
Do we ever consider, and I don't know how many calls you would get on a weekend if you're open on a weekend, but ever look at open on a Saturday at all? And I say this because if people are working 9 to 5 and they get tired, after hours would be good, or a Saturday. I didn't know if we had looked into that or if that would even be,
We're looking at a lot of different options. We are looking at a lot of different options. We're also consulting with other area municipalities and what they do, what they've done. So far, the consensus has been they haven't opened after on the weekends for certain reasons. Some have tried it. Some have really gone away from it. But even not opening up on a weekend, we feel strong that the technology with the app, things like that, will be much easier to just go on and submit a concern or an issue right on our website or the app with ease without needing to call.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for the presentation. Thank you for your whole group for doing what you do and what you're going to be doing in the future. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now I would suggest, because we're combining a budget meeting with a finance meeting, if we take a 5-minute break, and we'll resume here at 2:17. Agenda is 24-0725, a resolution authorizing Standard and Associates as a provider for services of pre-employment psychological assessments through December 31st, 2024.
Good afternoon. LaDonna Carr, Director of Training and Development, a Division of Human Resources. I'm here asking for your approval to approve the payment of Stannard, who is our pre-employment psychological agency that assists our public service individuals. Before they start with us, we need to know that they are physically and mentally available to work for us. So we are coming up to the $50,000 threshold, and we're asking for your approval to pay the bills.
So do we know, we know how much we paid so far, and then anticipating to the end of the year how much more we're going to owe total?
We are at $49,000.
Okay.
It depends on, we will be running out of both our list, our eligibility list, and everyone that's on it has to go through the approval process. So we will go over the $50,000. We do every year.
Right, do we have an idea, ballpark, of how much we might go over, 5,000, 6,000, anything like that? We don't know?
No, we don't, but we do have it budgeted.
Sure.
It's over 100 and something thousand we have in the account
Okay.
to
All right.
pay the bills.
Sure. Questions or comments on that?
Just a quick question.
Alderwoman Bay, go ahead.
So approximately 100,000 is budgeted for this every year?
No, it's budgeted for our public safety, for our fire police, our CDTs, our court detention officers. We budgeted, we have it for their physicals, for their everything that brings them on board. So it's their physicals, their background checks, also their psychologicals. So we have, I think the budget is maybe over $150,000 because we have been going through our list very rapidly because we've had a number of individuals retire and leave the services. So we need to keep our numbers up. So we go through our eligibility list fairly quickly.
Thanks, LaDonna.
You're welcome.
No, okay. Anybody else? All right, we have a motion
Second.
approved by Alderman Bay, second by Alderman Tolliver. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and abstain.
You're gonna stay? Okay, so we have four yeses, one abstention. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
Next item on the agenda is 24-0741, a resolution authorizing consulting statement of work, generative artificial intelligence policy, strategy, and roadmap from International Data Corporation, IDC Research Incorporated, Needham, Massachusetts, for a one-year term not to exceed $136,570.
So, good afternoon, Mike Piggy's Chief Information Officer. Kevin, introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Kevin Brimberry with IDC. How are you today?
All right, so we're before you to ask for review and approval of this resolution, which is authorized as statement of work focused on generative AI. And before we get started, actually, I just want to, first of all, say that, let me just explain what that basically means in the simplest terms possible. That it's just a type of artificial intelligence that can basically create content based on patterns and data. So you can think of it as like a digital artist that can create content, new ideas, text, even music. So if I just give a quick example here for the city of Aurora, how that can be put into context. As you heard previously, Mr. Martinez, as part of his, they were talking about like chatbots and things of that nature with 311. So chatbots for like citizen services. So just imagine that basically an AI-powered chatbot that basically can interact with citizens. That chatbot can basically generate responses to common questions like, what are your office hours, as Alderman Franco had just mentioned about, like on Saturday. Or, how do I report a pothole, right? Or what are the hours for city clerks, right? Or when are the aldermen actually in the office, right? So that's one example. Also, it could also power our permitting process. So for instance, think of an AI system that can automatically generate and fill out permit forms based on information that we already have here in the city of Aurora. So just to give you some examples of what we're actually talking about when we're talking about generative AI. with that, I'm going to move forward. So I'm going to pass this over to Kevin and let him give a little background about himself.
So as I sat back and watched people today, I'm thinking to myself after I sent this to Mike yesterday, I'm like, I should have used GPT to summarize this, and basically that's what it does. So I could have taken these 3 paragraphs, copy and pasted that into ChatGPT or Gemini, one of the other languages out there, and it would have summarized this. I would say, please summarize into one paragraph. It would have done that within 10 seconds. So that's the power of Gen AI today, and it's not just moving slowly, it's moving fast. But anyway, been with IDC for 8 years, love it, great culture that we have. I'm local here in the area, and I kind of manage a 5-state area. But the good news is we've done business with the state of Illinois, city of Chicago, state of Michigan. Not that we care about those guys, but there's a lot of best practices that we can bring in to kind of help working with city governments. With that said, I think that's it. So.
Well, can I stop right there, and I'll ask this to Mike, and thank you, Kevin, for that. So why IDC, because I don't know how many companies are out there, why IDC versus anybody else out there that could provide the services? And in your opinion, Mike?
Well, absolutely. I mean, IDC is basically like a household name, just like Kleenex, right? We also partner with other consulting agencies, but in this space, specifically around smart city initiatives, IDC has basically shown kind of an elevated focus within that specific area. And also, they're a little bit cheaper, so let's cut to the chase.
We're in finance. We always like to hear that word, so good.
I know that put a smile on Mr. Minnick's face over there as well. So. All right, so we'll go to the slide. So we recently had a successful workshop with IDC, and many of the aldermen were there. I know Alderman Bade was there. She was one of the stars on this video that I'm going to show you here in a second. Basically, you know, the city of Aurora, along with the mayor's office and Mr. Alex Alexandru, basically opened that session up, which we had back in June, and also in conjunction with IT. We're basically committed to kind of exploring artificial intelligence, how we can enhance the city services. Again, like we talked about with 311, and potentially other different departments and functions as well. So what we're looking to do is basically to develop a Gen AI strategy, actually policy, strategy, and also a roadmap that's in line with our technology strategic plan, or AKA digital plan, which is basically guided by the feedback from you, City Council, our stakeholders, our departments, and also our partners in the private sector, and also on the education side as well. This initiative will help us transform the way we serve our constituents in the community at large. And with that, I would like to share just a very brief recap video that highlights the feedback from some of our city, county, educational, and also our private partners. And this is exactly 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Goal of today was really to bring people together so there was a baseline foundational understanding of what generative AI is. And it's really important because it crosses not only the community and different departments, but also the county, the educational system. It has implications for the workforce and for training. So it's not really an IT issue only.
It's important for us to first identify how we're going to interact with them, what AI technologies we could leverage to improve not only public safety, but how we operate and function and provide what our residents expect from their local government.
When you look at who's in the room today, you see so many city leaders, department leaders, but you see so many of our community partners from the business community. I see nonprofit leaders in there, education leaders in there, everyone coming to the table so we can have the conversation on AI and how best to plan for the future of Aurora, the future of our world, in all honesty.
Most positive things about this session, more than anything else, is bringing the right groups together to have those conversations, to understand what their needs, concerns are, and thoughts are.
What are the dangers and what are the benefits of using AI? And today the session was how city can benefit using Gen AI and how we can help the residents get the benefit out of it.
So I think in local government, we struggle to know what's actually happening in the market and how it's impacting different businesses and what the potential use cases for emerging technology might be.
Well, it's twofold. Actually, we're at an influx really with higher education. And in particular, what we're looking at is not only operations, but also how do we prepare future workforces or students in the future, how well are they going to be prepared? So make sure that they have those skills in order to be able to compete, so make sure they're successful.
I think there's no question that this has to be a collaborative effort, including private and public partnerships. Without the cooperation of the public sector, the private sector can do it when it comes to AI initiatives. But the key there is going to be identifying opportunities where we can leverage as a city.
Because I think we all share different fears, from privacy concerns to bias concerns.
I'm not sure just yet about how it's going to impact the community from an equity perspective. A couple of things I know is that there's bias going into the data set, then there's going to be bias coming out. And so I think we have to be careful there. I think we also have to be careful.
So I'm going to take a pause there, and
Can I ask you
just
a
to kind of
question
give
real
you,
quick?
absolutely.
Since we're talking AI, I saw Mr. Alexandru in there.
Absolutely.
Was
That was
him?
actually him. That was not a deep
That
fake.
I was going to ask, is that AI-generated version? Because he seems so much calmer in this than I've ever seen him before. So I didn't know if that was really him or not.
We're down to 10.
You know, in this day and age, you don't know.
Well, that's part of that psychological assessment that Mrs. Carr was talking about earlier as well, right? So we all kind of need that, right? So with that, I'm go to the next slide, and I'm going to hand it over to Kevin to provide a little bit more detailed look on how our partnership can help us advance these initiatives.
Yeah, so I know that we're on this slide here, but I want to actually talk about how we're actually going to help you guys and why. I think it's probably at the end, but kind of fast forwarding, because Gen AI is going to help the city of Aurora by automating processes within all departments. We're also going to help Gen AI technologies are going to create new content from previously related content and actually streamlining operations and reducing costs. That's a big one, because if I can, again, bring the example up my resume there, I can put something in Gen AI and it'll spit it out in 10 seconds and then move on, helping legal departments. So again, the stakeholders are basically you, the city of Aurora, the city council, legal, the police, IT, HR, and then the citizens. Again, I wrote down there the 311. That's going to be a great thing, because the example that they gave on, hey, I want to have a food truck in here today. I was going, okay, what if you had a Gen AI driven chatbot where it could say, I want to have a food truck, and it was smart enough to say, okay, here's what you need to do. Let me send that link to you right away, and then I don't need to get somebody involved. I was just talking to Jeff about, I actually sold some Blackhawk tickets on another site the other day, and it took forever to get somebody. I had to call somebody on the phone. So it's like, there is a lot of benefits for Gen AI. And then lastly, by partnering with IDC, we're going to help you guys create your policy, strategy, and roadmap. And I guarantee you guys are way ahead of other cities that I'm talking to today. There was a gentleman on the webinar as well. He came over from the city of Indianapolis. He called me up after this, is rare, and he says, Kevin, I just put my whole plan in Gemini, which is another Gen AI site. And there's two. There's ChatGPT and then there's Gemini. And he says, Kevin, I put them in both, but Gemini was a lot more glamorous, and it gave better words and descriptions. He put his whole itinerary in, and the reason he did that, it was public information. So typically, we're going to create guardrails for the city as well to say what you can do and what you can't do. So again, it's an overall process that we're working with you guys on today. Okay. So thank you for that. Okay. And then basically, that was the same one. Okay. So it's, I don't want to get down into the weeds today, but, these are things that are happening today. I could throw statistics at you to say, there's X amount of money that's going to be spent on this. It's be cautious how you do it. Create your policies first, strategy, and then the roadmap, and you guys will have it. Now, this is something that's iterative, meaning that it's a continuous document, because this is changing. Our CEO says this is like the telephone. It's changing technology today, and if you embrace it, it's going to be great. So
So this next slide actually just goes over some of the use cases. So we asked the question, what are the use cases? You can see them right there. We've also talked about a lot of different ones already. Policies. We're talking about technical documentation because even as, within IT, we have a lot of procedures and processes, but, we're engineers. We typically don't like to write those down, but we need to write those down. Software, when we talk about data testing and things of that nature, even HR, I was speaking with Mrs. Lewis the other day about, how could we implement these different capabilities in HR to kind of improve the workflows with, with the implementation of the HR case management tool for onboarding and offboarding as well. So we talked a lot about 311 today, but also even in terms of water billing, right? And those public-facing, services, how can we help streamline that? Grant management is a big one. It is a big one. It's very time-consuming to sit back and write those narratives and things of that nature. And this capability could help streamline those processes. Communications, press releases, and city clerk, right? And also with the RFQ and the RFP process as well, in terms of summarizing a lot of that information. So we want to make sure that we basically, again, focus on the simple, immediate gains that are focused on productivity-focused use cases. We want to drive that innovation by keeping our constituents' needs at the forefront. This approach is going to basically allow us to ensure that we can quickly demonstrate value from the money that we're investing here into this initiative to enhance efficiency, also focus on continuous customer improvement. I think together we can move the needle forward, making Aurora basically a beacon of light, especially when we talk about smart city initiatives. With that, we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits. Kevin,
So again, a lot of the benefits that we talked about are data-driven. You have a lot of data behind the scenes, and how can you actually bring that to the forefront to help you with a lot of information that you want to bring out and start to analyze and manipulate and take advantage of. Citizen engagement is big, right? So talked about 311. Anytime you have citizens involved in this process, they're going to actually want to be part of it. You could potentially get a committee together from citizens down the road and say, hey, what do you want to see? But we've seen from some of the information that we have below, this is already working. And then efficiencies, as I talked about earlier. Organizing information in Gen AI can really help you out. So there's endless, and I could actually provide a bigger sheet than Mike brought you of opportunity areas for Gen AI. So we're trying to make it brief today. But there is a lot more data behind here, i.e. International Data Corporation, and then bring up the survey. So we actually survey 300,000 people globally and companies globally on what you're doing and other processes that we can help you with. So again, there's more to this us just than the consultancy. So.
Right, and I'll just add that the City of Aurora stands to greatly benefit from this data-driven decision making. And again, as Mr. Alexandru says all the time, we base this on data and evidence, and we want to make sure that we're making data-driven decisions. And this is going to help us do that and kind of move the needle forward. So this way, the city can actually provide quicker, more efficient services to our residents, freeing up time for staff to focus on more complex tasks and issues. And with that, we will open it up for questions and answers.
Questions or comments from committee? Alderman Bate?
So Mike, you brought up a grant, writing grants. So grant writer will be utilizing this?
Everyone can utilize it based on the policy, but we still have to put those parameters in place, and this is going to help us do that. But absolutely, yes, that's the simple answer. Yeah.
And so for 311 center, we are getting more people, and at some point we won't be needing more people because of integration of AI?
So this is my perspective, right? AI, it doesn't replace people, right? It makes the jobs more simplified, but frees humans up to higher, more complex activities. So if it frees up one job, there's another job that's created that could actually add higher value. But obviously there is some cost savings that could be realized. It's not one for one, but again, that's my perspective based on my experience.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Alderman Warman?
And so this initial ask here is just to write the policy procedures. This isn't implementing anything, correct?
Yeah, this is year one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want year two, I got it ready in my pocket. You know.
Maybe later we'll catch it. Maybe later, so, yeah. But after this is done, then when would we see more?
So I'll let Kevin actually
Yeah,
answer that.
it's iterative. So you've created the policies and the roadmap, right? So what's next? So you get from Aurora to, let's call it, what am I thinking of? Moline, Illinois, right? So we got you that far. Now, how are we going to get you to the next phase? So again, this thing is evolving as we know it, and we're trying to make sure we're ahead of it for you guys to be able to implement additional things for the city. So, and then I think another one may bring up, like a police officer, he or she has to go in and write up their reports. It's my opinion, and talking to other ones, that they hate that, right? So how can we make them more efficient by getting that done and getting back out and policing the area and helping the citizens of Aurora? So.
And again, I just want a caveat on that, and that's a very good one, but we specifically focused on the ones with less risk, right? The more productivity in terms of office, because public safety is a very sensitive thing, and you even heard Mrs. Clark on the video talking about, there are some challenges in that space. So we want to make sure that there's a policy in place, we have a strategy around that, and we have a roadmap for potentially implementing those capabilities in public safety, because that's a more complex area, which is going to require a lot of focus and a lot of attention. We just don't want to haphazardly put that out there in public safety, and then we have some liability somewhere. So.
Alderman Bugs, you have a question?
No.
I just want to go back to what Alderwoman Bate had mentioned about staffing, about people. We're going to save money. I know that nationwide, there's been some pushback about AI and different things with some unions about, taking jobs away and stuff like that. I get that when you do something like this, you're enhancing the ability to get things done. And I know we're not a job creation program city, but I do, and I know your opinion is that, but it seems like going forward, this could be replacing people, more efficient, better for the taxpayers. But I don't know that it's not, and I know that your opinion is, but I'm just a little concerned about where we're going with that, and.
Actually, I'm going to throw that over to our AI guru, Mr. Alexandru, if you would like to comment on that. But I mean, again, I think it complements and it makes us more efficient, right?
Well, I know if he's coming up, I know when I was with the FAA, we put in all this technology, and they thought it was going to replace controllers. It did not. It enhanced and made their job easier, safer, the whole thing. So I saw that.
But it created new jobs as well.
Well, that I can't comment on, but I would just say, and it was good, but it didn't replace people. But we didn't know at the time. And obviously, it's a different animal when it's public safety like that. So, but I would just kind of get more of an idea if Mr. Alexander could shed some light on that.
Alex Alexandru, Chief Management Officer. So let's be very clear here. AI is coming. AI is still making its way through different industries. Government is no different. We're standing here today, and the request is not in any way, shape, or form to create an AI platform that's going to replace employees. So we're not even putting that in the air, because that's not the intent.
Okay.
The intent is our IT folks, our other operational folks are seeing, we're talking to our other fellow governments, we're seeing trends nationwide. How can we use this as a tool, a productivity tool, not productivity like less employees, more robots, we're not at Terminator status. We're talking about making this a tool to help our existing workforce be more productive. So this is a start. It's a policy start. We are erring on the side of caution and conservative, step by step. We're not jumping into this recklessly, but we know it's there. So for us to sit back and do nothing would be equally reckless as rushing and taking everything on and making plans without proper policy. So every industry, I'm sure I asked Alderman Tolliver, the insurance industry is starting to adapt to AI, but that doesn't mean that they're going to replace insurance agents or human beings who have to go out and evaluate work sites and damage. So we're just trying to get out ahead of this. bringing in subject matter experts and buying a reasonable service to get us started. And that was the point of the video in that meeting, was to gather people together to see what they're feeling, what they know, what are their concerns. So this is a starting point, but it is by no way, shape, or form. We don't want to see a headline saying city hiring robots to replace employees. And I don't care how smart the robots are, I can still outsmart them.
Well, I'm just glad you're back. You're no longer AI generated with that speech. Thank you so
I'm
much.
back.
We got you back.
Right here. I'm here.
That was my question. So thank you for answering.
You're welcome.
Anything else? All right. With nothing else, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Alderman Tolliver, second by Alderman Bug. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is 24-0774, resolution approving the purchase of bulk rock salt in the amounts of $68,02 and $68.54 per ton from Morton Salt Incorporated, Chicago, and Compass Minerals America Incorporated, Orland Park, Kansas, for the Division of Street Maintenance under the State of Illinois Joint Purchasing Agreement bid for the 2024-2025 season. And I apologize for making you wait so long for something that we're going to probably approve pretty darn quick. So.
That's okay. Tim Forbes, Superintendent of Streets. This will be actually the third salt contract you've seen. We had an extra one this year to fill the new dome. This is just one of our normal ones we get. State just happened to split it into two. We got two different vendors. Last year was the first year did, so each of my sites is going to have a different vendor going to it. So it seems like we got more vendors. In reality, we don't. It's the same amount, just they split it between the two.
Questions, comments? Alderman Bug.
Yeah, we have really kept up with this so well and even filled our new dome. Do you anticipate next year possibly that, we're gonna, if we have a light winter, we might have to, cut back on one of these two contracts? Still do two, but
Correct, possibly, and we might even look into only go to one contract. We always did that because we had very small storage facilities, so we didn't have a lot we could get. So we relied on getting trucking to get it here. With the new dome, that's given us the ability to store a lot more on hand, so we're not as at risk to run out of salt as we were in the past. This is the most salt we've ever had before winter starts. So it's a nice feeling to know that we're probably not going to have a big issue.
And do a follow-up. Have we, I guess we've never been in this situation, but if one of our neighboring towns is in a bind, are we able to sell them at a market rate some of our salt?
It's a possibility. I don't know whether what legal or the mayor's office would decide, but it's a possibility depending on where we're at in the winter, where we're at with our orders. But yes, we're in great shape right at the moment. So.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion by Alderwoman Bay, second by Alderman Tolliver. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, guys.
Next item on the agenda is 24-0797. Resolution authorizing expenditures of game time in excess of $50,000 for renovations of Bishop Bonner Park.
Good afternoon, Gio Santana, Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. The item before you is to authorize expenditures for renovations to Bishop Bonner Park, which is located in the 7th Ward. This park is over 25 years old. The proposed item would approve installation of new equipment that was purchased through a grant in 2023. The equipment consists of 2 playground sets, a 2 to 5 playground, a 5 to 12, as well as an arch swing. And then the item also calls for installation of pour-in-place rubber surfacing, which is the newer material that playgrounds are going to, which reduces maintenance costs from not having annual purchase of mulch, annual maintenance. It's a lot safer and more longer lasting.
So let me real quick read this resolution with the legislative text. It's a little bit different from what I read. This is a resolution authorizing expenditures of game time totaling $91,462 for renovations of the playground at Bishop Park. The other one just said in excess of $50,000. I just want to make it clear that we actually had an amount on that. So questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, do we have a motion? We have a motion by Alderwoman Bay, second by Alderman Warman. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anything else to come before the Finance Committee today?
Motion to adjourn.
Hearing none, we have a motion to, a motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Bade, and we had a second over here by Alderman Warman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 2:50, and just remind everybody, we have another Finance Committee meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock. See you tomorrow. Thank you.